made for safety first, engineered with aluminum pillars and beams, aluminum body, designed to crumple in case you are in a head-on collision. We're going to protect the driver and the passenger in the front of this vehicle. In between the aluminum pillars and beams, we do have the open space to be able to put a little storage in here. That's why we have the front trunk, or frunk, if you will. All right. All Model X's come with a tow hitch, come with a sunscreen that can be installed over the large open glass windshield if you desire, and a phone charger can be installed either Apple or Android, depending upon what you guys want. So some air conditioning hoses, some other additional wiring, but again, no engine, no transmission. If you do get in a head-on collision in this vehicle, there's no chance that you're going to get a boiling hot gas spewing engine coming through the dashboard to sit in your lap. So, therefore, 5-star crash test rating, front-end collision by National Traffic Safety Board. Blue cap is the only other real bonus under here. In this vehicle.
Windshield washer fluid.
You got it, man. I knew you'd done your research. Windshield wiper fluid, in case you wash your windows enough. That's the only thing that you would ever need to refill under here. All right. It does most of the braking utilizing the motors and not the brakes. The brake pads on these vehicles, which are standard brake pads, are expected to last 150,000 miles.
Wow.
Really? What if you have that feature off in the car because you can turn it off?
So you can turn it from standard to low. It still utilizes the motors to brake a little bit. They expect that to drop down to about half, probably 75,000 miles before you have to replace the brake pads.
Good.
So, all right. Now we'll move to the back of the vehicle. Same thing with the key fob. This is the back. Various different locations. And this is what you would utilize to charge, plug into the wall. An adapter have the availability to utilize either one of these. Standard 110, but usually only if you get in a pinch, because this is only going to provide 3 to 4 miles per hour charging overnight. So not going to give you a lot of regeneration.
3 to 4 miles per hour. That's it?
That's it. So that one, you charge your entire vehicle from empty to full overnight in about 8 hours. Most people do not drive their car around until it completely runs empty. And we don't recommend that unless you're making long trips. But the vehicle can charge itself pretty rapidly on this. 35 to 45 miles per hour charging. And usually they get home, charge up in about an hour and a half, 2 hours, completely charged from their daily driving. The vehicle is smart enough to turn itself off after that. It doesn't utilize any other additional energy from your home. So this is what we recommend. Last but not least, this little adapter, which looks the same on this end as your charger outlet. This adapter allows you to pull up and charge at any of the generic charging stations, if you will. The ones that the Nissan Leafs, the Chevy Volts, those other guys get you charge at. Their outlets, hoses look like this.
Okay.
Very simple adapter. You plug into this, plug this into your car, and you're charging. The difference really is that the Tesla chargers for Model S and Model X will be free for you to utilize. These generic ones, for the most part, do require a payment, usually by the hour. I had an experience with one at a church in 5 Points, so they're popping up all over the place, where I had to spend $10 to get a lifetime membership to their service, and then I charged for an hour. It cost me $1.26. I got 24 miles in that hour, enough to get back here where I could plug in here, charge for free. So also can be utilized in a bind. All right, so that comes with every vehicle. All right, we will go ahead.
I'm going to close this, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, just like that.
No.
All right, adjust your seat.
Feels a little tight though.
12 different ways to adjust the seat. We'll rise up, bottom one down here. So the first thing to do is to set the adaptive cruise control, which is very common on a lot of vehicles. You can turn that dial and you'll set the distance you want to keep between us and the vehicles in front of you. Go ahead.
This one?
Yep, right there.
Yeah, we have that on a Volvo too.
We'll adjust the distance that we want to keep between us and the vehicles in front of us, essentially by car lengths from 1 to 7.
Okay.
The next step, when we're out on the road and we're at a speed that you feel comfortable with, you'll pull that lever once towards you. That will set the cruise control speed.
Okay.
So, and again, it's adaptive cruise control. It will stay at the speed that you've set it, unless somebody slow pulls in front of us or we catch up to slow traffic. Then it will defer to that distance, that cushion, so to speak, that we want to keep between us and those other vehicles. Once they move out of the way, we'll speed back up to the speed you have it set. You won't have to do any adjustments. The one thing that sets us apart from other manufacturers' adaptive cruise control is that ours will go all the way down to 0 and re-engage without you having to set anything. A lot of other manufacturers, theirs kicks off if it gets below 20 miles per hour or down to 0 and it'll kick off. Ours will re-engage at the same speed as traffic from a complete stop. You won't have to adjust anything. The next step is to set the auto steer function. So to do that, you will pull the lever back towards you 2 times real fast, like you're flashing your high beams at somebody. That will utilize the 8 cameras around the outside of this vehicle to read the lines of the road and allow this vehicle to keep between the lines, following in whichever lane that you've selected. So the vehicle will steer itself.
All right.
At that point, we have to keep our hands on the wheel,
USB ports.
but loosely, and we can let the steering wheel slide through our hands, and you'll get to experience that. And I can't watch your hands the entire time while we're driving, of course, so that's up to you. Then, from that point, you have the ability to adjust the speed.
Does it?
Yes, go
Like,
ahead.
you're taking your hands off. Is there any time duration after which it auto engage off this thing?
So, good question. Every 90 seconds to 2 minutes, the vehicle, as a safety precaution, sends a pulse to the
Every
steering
10
wheel,
seconds.
expecting to feel some tension from the driver.
So 1.5 to 2 minutes. That's
If it
good.
doesn't sense that tension, you'll get a little message up on the dashboard, please hold the steering wheel.
Okay.
If you don't see that or you don't abide by that, then you'll get a bing and another, please hold the steering wheel. If you disobey 3 times or you don't see it 3 times, you can stereo up loud and you're not paying attention, then the alarm will go off, beep, 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 and your autopilot is disengaged for the remainder of your trip. And you are punished. Slap on the wrist. To re-engage, you'll have to actually exit the freeway, find a place to park the car,
Oh, you gotta be kidding me, right?
turn it off, get out of the car to turn it off, get back in, get back on the freeway, get up to speed, and re-engage. Now, that is a safety precaution that the U.S. government required we install after we did have.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it makes
sense.
Paying attention.
But all you have to do is touch the steering
Get
wheel
off
once.
the fairway, man.
Just touch it once.
Yep.
So
You have to go get off the road and then.
Yeah.
it's a little trade off to the government.
So that is something relatively new that was installed after the individual had an accident here in Florida where he wasn't paying attention to his autopilot, got in an accident. So that's relatively new. We had to install that for safety. So while you are in the autopilot mode, you will have the ability to adjust the speed by using this lever up and down. You can give that a feel because there's a little bit of tension in the middle there. If you go just to that tension, it'll increase or decrease 1 mile per hour. If you go beyond that tension, you click it up a little bit harder. Feel that?
Yeah.
That'll increase or decrease 5 miles per hour.
Okay.
All right. Then, last but not least, while you're out there, you'll have the ability to have the vehicle make an auto lane change for you.
Okay.
So if you're cruising along, come up to slow traffic, you can tell the vehicle, change lanes for me by pushing the standard turn signal down all the way until it clicks into place, or up all the way until it clicks into place. That will tell the vehicle you want to do an automatic lane change. It will send out a sensor to make sure that there's nobody around, and it will change lanes completely for you. However, it does not turn the signal off. You have to turn that off yourself. Okay? So finish your lane change, turn the signal off. It will not try to turn multiple lanes at one time. You'll just be that guy going down the road with your turn signal.
Okay.
If you do want to make multiple lane changes, no problem. Turn it on, wait for the vehicle to complete the lane change, turn it off, and turn it back on again.
Right.
You do have to wait for the vehicle to complete its lane change before turning it off. If you don't, the vehicle will think you want to abort the lane change and it'll bounce back. So you have to watch to make sure the vehicle is completely
Okay.
over.
So some learning, I guess, on driver's part.
There is a little bit of a learning curve, but usually it's pretty
Okay.
intuitive and you get it pretty quickly. Last but not least, to turn off the autopilot, you would push this lever away from you one time. Okay? However, you always have the ability to override the car by pushing on the brake, which you can let off of right now. We're not going to go anywhere. You can relax.
That auto lane change, that's only in autopilot mode?
That's only in autopilot mode, and it's only on the interstates. We'll not do it on any city streets. Okay? So then...
It knows by GPS?
Yeah. Yeah. And you always have the ability to override by pushing on the brakes or grabbing the steering wheel and turning it the way you want to steer it. Okay? And that will turn off everything. All right. I think the only other easy thing to talk about over here is this is the volume for your stereo, but it is programmable. You can select by pushing it in other things that you want to have up here. Okay. So go back to the audio where it was. Okay. Same thing on the other side. You can program that screen to be whatever you want. I think right now you also have the ability to program other things on here. This one is turned to the fan speed, so you can increase or decrease the fan speed on the steering wheel right now. You can select other things, temperature, display, calls. So, all right. Okay, I'm going to join you on the other side. Looks like they're struggling.
It's not parking anywhere.
No,
it's trying to park right here?
It's going to park right in that spot once they remember how to do this. Because I saw them pull past it slowly.
Looks like a famous color, man. All the blues here.
Yeah. Lately, we've been selling a lot of blue. I don't know. It's trending right now.
All right, come on.
Yeah, come on, person. Let me see who it is. Maybe I know them. I can tell them what they're doing wrong.
Or they won't recognize him as a salesman. Like, what the fuck? What do you want?
Shoot him. That's it. Okay, there you go. Okay. No hands on the steering wheel. Alright, now it's gonna. Let's see what it does.
Hit the other Tesla. Hit the other Tesla.
All
Hit
right.
the other Tesla.
Okay, let's see.
You should be
Okay, no,
filming
it's
this.
It's
Oh,
doing
you
it.
are? Oh.
It's doing it by itself. He's not holding it.
Okay, it's
Okay.
going out itself.
Okay, let's see.
It's gonna go back itself.
Alright. That's going in. It's going in.
And it.
Okay, come on, straighten it up.
It's the Greenwalds. They just picked up their vehicle today, and I sold them their vehicle last month.
Are they?
So, pulls up the radio screen right now. It looks like they're using standard radio. We have streaming radio through Slacker. 40 million selections is what they tell me, from podcasts to radios to music songs to newscasts to comedy.
And that's all free?
And that's all free
Okay.
for the first year. However, after the first year, they're supposed to provide you with a subscription choice, but so far in the vehicles that we launched in 2012, it's never been turned off on anybody, and they've never been offered a prescription choice. So they may at some point enforce that 1 year, but right now it's been free forever. Same thing with the 4G LTE internet capabilities that the car has all on its own, which cannot be used as a hotspot thanks to that poor choice that the driver made that got in the accident, but is on all the time, 24/7.
So this cannot be used?
Cannot be used as a hotspot. So what happened, unfortunately, in that accident was a gentleman had used the vehicle as a hotspot and had paired his iPad with it and was watching movies on his iPad and wasn't paying attention. A semi-truck merged into the lane, and his vehicle, unfortunately, did not have time to stop and went underneath that vehicle. And he, unfortunately, lost his life. So we made some changes. Now we have that stupid 90-second to 2-minute warning, as well as no longer pairing to the vehicle's internet. So until our full self-driving is approved, and all of that is just little software buttons, we can probably readjust that and be able to do whatever we want. But until then, we also have tune-in radio. Tune-in radio is anybody that's broadcasting over the internet can find radio stations all over the world. Antarctica, let's say, we can listen to cool folk music in Antarctica if we choose to. And last but not least, you can use your phone, Bluetooth your phone, and listen to whatever you want on your phone. Cool Antarctica music, by the way. All right. Navigation. Go ahead and double click on the red arrow.
Why double click?
Well, click it once, it'll go half screen. Click it twice, it'll go full screen.
Okay.
And I say double click, but it's just hitting it twice. So that's probably poor vernacular. But anyways, the navigation is based on Google Maps. Utilizes standard as well as satellite if you want to utilize the satellite. Traffic through Google Maps also showing green for easy traffic, light traffic, orange for medium traffic, red for heavy traffic. Can be turned off by clicking on the button there where the cars are. And last but not least, the lightning bolt. Go ahead and hit the lightning bolt button. That is going to pull up all of the Tesla proprietary chargers in and around the area. And this works just like Google Maps. You can pinch and zoom and drag, and we can kind of see what is approximately in this area. So all of the gray ones are destination chargers like what we have here, usually at hotels, restaurants, other shopping centers. Yeah, you can scroll through those and see.
What's the difference Tesla with his destination?
All right, so the destination chargers are the ones that will take, they give you about 35 to 40 miles of range per hour.
Okay.
The red ones are the superchargers. These are the locations that are going to be right off the freeway exit, and these are the ones where you can get your car charged quite rapidly.
Okay.
Now, that's a relative term. 20 minutes to give you 50% of your battery charged.
And we don't have one in Jacksonville?
We don't have one in Jacksonville. Closest one is St. Augustine Outlet Mall and in Kingsland, Georgia. And we are getting 3 of them in the near future.
Okay.
And we just negotiated with Wawa gas station, which is building right over here, and they're going to start putting chargers in their stations. So we'll be getting them soon. Right now they're usually on the outskirts of metropolitan areas. People traveling stop, fill up their tank.
From Jacksonville to Orlando, man?
Sure, plenty.
Superchargers?
Yeah. So there's one in Port Orange, right there, and there's several in Orlando.
Okay.
So those ones, again, you pull in, they're going to be located near amenities. So if we click on this one right here, Port Orange, it's going to tell us there are restrooms, restaurants, coffee shops, shopping nearby.
Of course.
5 of 6 stalls available. Right now there's one person there charging.
Yeah.
So you pull in, you charge up full battery in 45 minutes to an hour, and that's going to get you the full 295 miles in this vehicle of range. If you only need half a battery charge, 20 minutes. 80% of a battery charge, 30 minutes.
Okay.
So that's how you potentially would plan long trips in this vehicle. Yes, owning an electric vehicle right now does take a little bit more planning than a gas vehicle because there are not electric chargers everywhere, but we have more and more of them popping up all the time.
So if I'm going to Orlando, staying in a hotel, what do I do? I have to drive up there?
Okay, so let's do that. Let's cancel this trip and press on the voice activation, say take me to Orlando, or you can say take me to Disney if you want. Press it until it beeps.
Take me to Orlando.
If we'd have given it a specific address, most likely they would have found that too. It's pretty precise. But it's going to give us probably central Orlando, 118.9 miles from here as the crow flies. So now go ahead and hit that navigate button. It's going to utilize the traffic patterns from Google Maps, weather patterns, and the charging network that we've developed. And it's going to tell us the most efficient way to get from here to Orlando utilizing the current range that we have of 209 miles. So right now we have enough range that we can get all the way there without having to stop. Okay, so let's say we do go to Orlando and we don't know where we're going to stay, but we want to charge there overnight. So we can scroll on down to Orlando. All right, and we can zoom in a little bit more here. Okay, give it a second to refresh its map. It probably doesn't need to refresh. Go ahead and hit the lightning bolt button again. So that is going to pull up all of the hotel locations in and around Orlando, or all the destination charger locations, I should say, and you can scroll through them and see what they are. Grand Bohemian Hotel, Mall at Millennia has chargers, City Walk, Universal, a variety of different places. If you find one that you like, let's say we're going to go to Universal, City Walk, L. All right, so let's zoom in here. There's L. Click on it. City Walk Orlando, 2 connectors, restrooms, restaurants, coffee shops, beds for the night, shopping close by, free Wi-Fi. Sounds awesome. Their address, their phone number. Once you get in and sync your phone, you can call directly from your car. Call them up, say, hey, we're going to come down to Orlando for a vacation, and we want to check your availability. Got it. Yeah, okay, we'd like to make a reservation. And also, we found you on the Tesla network because we have a Tesla and we want to charge there. Oh, absolutely. We'll reserve the bay for you. Great. See you in a couple hours.
All of these hotels have the chargers?
Yep.
Okay.
All of those hotels are Tesla proprietary chargers, free for Tesla owners to charge at.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. All that is there's okay.
So,
But even if I'm not staying there, I could go there, charge it?
yes,
No?
I went to a Hilton in Orlando, and there I just drove up. There was nobody around, no charger police. The charger was in their parking garage. I pulled up, plugged in, walked across the street for 2 hours, did some business at a restaurant, made some phone calls, walked back. There was no note on my car. There was nobody around. Unplugged, drove away. Nobody even knew I was there. But I guess technically,
Yeah, you have to be a guest.
their goal is to, bring in guests, and they want you to be a guest. So the mall at Millennia, available for customers. The Hyatt Regency, available for customers. So technically, yeah, that's their goal. They want to bring in the Tesla crowd. Tesla crowd will spend money at their business. Everyone wins. But yeah, personally, I've been able to charge at various different places, and no one's ever questioned it. So,
All right, let's drive, man.
all right.
Let's drive this thing.
I hear you. Let's get on the road finally.
Yeah.
We're going to do a couple of quick tutorials on this steering. We have 3 different steering modes. Comfort's going to be like a Cadillac or a Lincoln, standard Honda, Chevy, Ford, Sport, going to feel like a sports car, Porsche, Ferrari, whatever. Creep mode, the vehicle is totally electric. It is not going to edge forward at the stoplight like a gas vehicle does. If you want it to, we can set it on and it'll creep forward at the stoplight, and you'll have to put your foot on the brake while we're sitting there the whole time. Otherwise, you can stop and take your foot off. We're not going anywhere. Regenerative braking, that's the situation where the motors will spin backwards when you let off the accelerator, creating energy, putting back into the vehicle, prolonging your range. It does feel to a lot of people like you're downshifting into a lower gear in a manual vehicle, or it almost feels like you're putting on the brakes.
Right.
I usually can coach people to just let off slowly, easily. They get used to it pretty quickly, not a problem. However, if it's a sensation that you do not want, we can turn it to low. Also on the creep mode, if you say, yeah, I do want that sensation, we can turn it to on. You usually start with both of them the way they are right now, so you get an experience of a fully electric vehicle, but we can change it on the fly. Last but not least, we have to go to our driver's assistance menu, autopilot. Turn these off. We have a couple of quick little disclaimers everybody has to fill out. Go ahead and turn that on. We're going to get out there and try the auto steer. The vehicle will drive on its own, but we are responsible for keeping it under our control at all times. Auto lane change. Go ahead and turn that one on. We'll try that when we get out there. And last but not least, the auto park. The vehicle will drive in reverse on its own, but we have to keep it under our control. Boom. Boring stuff over. Cancel out of this. Let's drive. Cancel trip. Go away. Takes back to where we are. Put us into our standard driving mode. The only moving picture. Well, first of all, you can see the internet from here. You want to search anything on the internet? Fine. Go to YouTube. You can't play them, but you can find videos. Oops.
You can't play?
No. You can look for videos and find thumbprints of them all, but they won't play. The only moving video you will be able to see out of this vehicle is rear view camera.
It's a good screen, man. Give me a split screen. I can watch some movies or something.
I know, right?
At least the kids can do it, right? Officially.
No, not even in park.
But you could
But-
Google things. You could do things non-video wise,
Absolutely.
internet wise. That's part of that
Absolutely.
part of the
You
thing.
can go and search anything that you want on the internet.
Huh.
Full screen.
And that's not going to be subscription, or that might be subscription.
That's part of this 4-year subscription.
Uh-huh.
That's
For
right now free for everyone forever. But eventually they may enforce that. But
Was it through AT&T or Verizon?
AT&T. Yeah, I know people say, well, AT&T, they don't have great coverage in this and that area.
Yeah.
I've never had a complaint where people have lost communication.
And not in our area, man.
So, I don't know. Anyways, okay. So, Uncle Elon says this is our standard driving mode with our navigation down here, our camera on full time up there. If that becomes a distraction, we obviously can turn it off. But again, if you take a look in here, it's just a terrible view out of that back window.
Yeah.
It's terrible. These wouldn't even be here except for the government required us to put them in. This is what we want people to start using to get comfortable with that, because everybody's filled their car to a point where they can't see out of the rearview mirror anyways, right? This camera will always be there. High definition, wide angle lens showing you all your blind spots, shows multiple lanes of vehicles coming up from behind you. Also shows you leaving them in the dust. We'll go down to that stop sign and we'll take a right. That's that regenerative brake feel.
Takes some time to get used to
It
this.
does. It does take a little bit of time to get used to. We'll take a right and then an immediate left where that person is. And then a right at the stop sign. So why are you considering moving on from the Cayenne?
Doesn't have any of these autopilot features, man.
Okay.
Always looking to change.
All right, I got you. This is an older Tesla, the old front fascia. So that's one thing that we're trying
So
to...
you have, right now you have any lease offers, man?
Yeah. The lease offers for 3 years, 36 months. And unfortunately, the financial institutions that we deal with set the rate on that. And it sucks right now. 5.4%. Our financing rate is at 1.49%. So if it's a situation where an individual can get some benefit from their work or tax write-off for the vehicle, then a lease makes sense. But
Right.
honestly, it's a little bit less expensive to finance right now than it
Left
is.
or right?
So we're gonna take a right up here. This lane turns right, but the next one does as well. So whichever one you want.
Oh.
So is the Cayenne a lease or is it financed or is it paid for?
It's big. It's my business vehicle, actually. It'll be on
Okay.
company's name.
Oh, so you could do the same thing with
Yes.
a lease on a Tesla and potentially get the tax write-off and benefit for that. And this vehicle is over 6,000 pounds, so it qualifies for additional tax benefits. So how long have you been in Jacksonville?
About 10 years.
10 years? Okay. So you're probably familiar with all the roads we're going to take. Essentially, we're going to take this vehicle to the 295 entrance,
Okay.
take that down to JTB and head east.
Okay.
And ultimately, we're going to head out to the Mayo Clinic, if you're familiar with where that is.
Yes.
Very good.
I'm surprised it's over 6,000. You know,
Yeah.
without the engine block, transmission.
Probably
Is
the
it the
batteries,
batteries? Yeah.
The
So-
batteries,
So yeah, so the batteries are 2/3 of the weight of this vehicle.
Oh wow.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
4,000 pounds.
yeah, extremely heavy. Located on the bottom of the vehicle, again from wheel well to wheel well, chassis, side to side. Most people never know where they are unless we point it out to them because there's not a big trunk full of it or a big back of it. There's no hump in the center here.
Just imagine when the technology changes with batteries.
They continue to improve, and hopefully we'll be on the cutting edge of all of those.
That 2.5 seconds, 0 to 60 will be down to
Batteries
1
are still-
second.
Yeah.
If you cut the weight by a third.
It's like an evolution. It's not a revolution. It's just slowly evolving batteries. Nothing new coming out.
They claim that there is a new battery coming out. Tesla is not involved with it, but they claim that it will compete with our lithium-ion technology. So I'm interested to see what happens with that. I can't think of what it is right now. But
Yeah, I've read some articles also.
yeah. So, but right now we've got the best battery technology in the business, and we have sold it to some other manufacturers that are utilizing it in their upcoming electric vehicles. This vehicle that we're driving now is a 100 kilowatt hour battery, and it will get 295 miles in between charges. The smaller battery in this vehicle will get 235. So, yeah, come on, get past these guys. We're gonna exit on the right.
No, it's quiet. But it's
Right?
not so
On the left,
quiet.
on the right.
A lot of the noise you hear,
It's
I
a
guess,
car
is
noise.
just your
Your
ambient
everyday.
sound.
Yeah,
not
other
just-
by yourself?
people.
There we go, there's no one behind you. Everyone's driving slow today. All right. So the batteries located on the chassis of the vehicle give the vehicle two big benefits. Number one, very low center of gravity. So this SUV will corner like a sports car because the center of gravity is so low. Number two, because they are located all the way from side to side, they're very dense and very rigid. In the side impact tests that were done on this vehicle, there was very little impact into the cabin because dense batteries, for the most part, stopped that intrusion into the cabin. So we're going to take Butler and then go east. Once we get around this corner, we can get to the left lane. So the other thing, because of the weight of this vehicle, and because of where the batteries are located, in the rollover tests, they could not get these vehicles to roll over under their own power. We got them up to very high speed, cranked the wheel, the vehicles would not catch and roll over. So very 5-star crash test and the rollover test as well. They did have to bring out forklifts to actually roll the vehicles over onto the top to do the cabin crush test, and they had to put more pressure on the bottom of this vehicle to try to get the cabin to crush than they ever had to exert before. So another 5-star crash test. Speed now that we're in a test drive vehicle. They have the governor set at 85 for test drives. Okay, go ahead and take that bottom lever, third one down, pull it towards you 2 times. Perfect. Relax. Oh, you fought with it, go ahead and do it again. Do it again. 2 times. There you go. Okay, relax your hands. The vehicle's driving on its own. Just let the steering wheel slide through your hands.
And steering wheel, that's pretty cool.
It is steering on its own. It's using the 8 cameras to watch the lines of the road.
How do we control the distance, you said? Between the cars?
Yeah. So yeah, it's keeping the distance. So you can increase and shorten and decrease that by turning the dial. Yep. Right now, we've got the speed set at 78, which is in the blue circle.
Right.
And we're only going 76 because they're going a little bit slower. So yeah.
So we want to change the lane left.
Yep. So let's go ahead and get over to the left lane. Pull, turn just like that. And I'll wait for that car to get out of the way. Talk about it because we were talking about increasing our speed, but we went through that corner without any issues. Did you even notice?
Yeah.
All right. So that is
2 minutes, right?
pretty much cruise. You know, the cruise. You can increase and decrease the speed by that third lever as well.
Which one?
Do that third one down. Lift it up to increase. Push it down to decrease.